Hi everybody, Laura here. So glad you're joining me today. Got a couple of clean and simple and colorful, always colorful projects to share with you using the alphabet block dies. So I started with a piece of Bristol paper. I don't know why it took me so long to start using Bristol paper. It's amazing for ink blending. Going to be doing a lot of ink blending with my Distress inks. Here's how I store my ink tools, my ink blending tools. I got about 10 of them, and I mix and match the sponges. And here are the alphabet block dies. What I'm doing here is taking just one random alphabet block die, and I'm going to die cut it right into just like a scrap piece of white cardstock. And then I have this little mini cutting board there to put underneath. I'm taking my craft knife and I'm just cutting around the square of it with a ruler and my craft knife. I'm not measuring. Doesn't have to be precise. What I'm doing is creating a little mask so that I can blend a bunch of little squares to put behind my alphabet block dies. You'll see what I mean as we get going. So I've got my little square mask up in the top left-hand corner, and we're going to get to blending. So I go through, gosh, must be 12 or so of these Distress ink cubes in rainbow order, of course. I started with Candy Apple. Now I'm doing Worn Lipstick, and you can see here how I try to go a little bit gradient. That's kind of my thing. When I ink blend, I always try to go a little darker, a little lighter in one area. It just gives you that added interest with the gradient. So I'm working my way through. Now what I did here is I created another clean mask. Whenever I'm moving from the deep reds into the yellows, I don't want to get my yellows orangey, you know, from the ink of the red. Does that make sense? So I just wanted a clean mask so that my yellows could be really bright and vibrant. So you can see I'm working my way. I fast forwarded because you get the idea. I ink blend over and over again. So I've got 12 beautiful little squares there, and I trimmed it out, and now I'm flicking on some little flicks of water. I was actually pleasantly surprised how beautiful the flicks turn out on Bristol paper. Bristol paper is like my new fave. I got to tell you, I don't know why I waited so long. Okay, so now here is the fun part. We've got these alphabet block dies, and they fit perfectly in each one of these 12 little squares. So I had this idea in my head of doing these squares with the alphabet block dies, but I didn't have a sentiment in mind, and I knew that it had to be even, like each line had to have 4 characters or 3 characters, whatever the amount, they all had to be the same so that it could be a square. And so I came up with this Live Well, Love Much. Well, I didn't come up with it. It's been around. It actually, there's longer ones. It's like Live Well, Laugh Often, Love Much, and Eat Italian. I love that one, but the Laugh Often had too many characters, so I just did Live Well, Love Much because it all fit with the layout. So you could do this if you can come up with a sentiment that has even characters. What is that the right way to say it? Then it would work for a square. Anyway, so here we are. You can see I die cut them, fit them into the squares. I used Post-it tape to hold them down. And now, of course, because I'm crazy, I gotta pop it up. Now this is the cool thing about this. When you're all done, you can get 2 cards with this one die cut. So you've got the positive and the negative. And right here, I believe this would be the negative, right? I'm gonna call this the negative. I always get confused on that. I pop that up. And then I had to cut the teeniest, tiniest little sliver of foam tape you've ever seen to pop up my little tittle, the dot on the eye. It's called the tittle. And okay, so now here I am popping up the positive pieces from the block alphabet dies. And I just love that, you know, it was a little time consuming to ink blend all those 12 colorful squares, but you get 2 beautiful cards when you're finished with it. And I know I'm crazy for cutting all these little slivers of foam tape. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do what the heart wants. So look at how beautiful these cards turn out. You got to give this a try. If you don't have the block alphabets, you could do this with really any type of alphabet dies and create the same idea. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.